what is going on. I've got less than an hour to actually film this because it is 7 p.m. now. Ta-da! And I have got an online clogging fun dance at 8 p.m. So I want to be there for that. But I have been putting this off for way too long, and I'm going to stop banging on my desk because it moves my camera. So this is what we're starting with. It's a free magazine of apartment guides of apartments that to rent. And what I usually look for to make these journals is, I'm trying to see if I can get it in the light. There, oh, there it is, right there. See how it's pressed right there? Those make the best because this will kind of expand out. Because you see right here, that is that line right there. So it like fluffs out the spine so that it can get fluffier. So yeah, but not all of these are good. The way I test them usually is I get towards the middle of the book and then I kind of tug it, not too hard, because trust me, you are a human and you can rip it if you want to. But if you, oh, that tore a little bit. But I'm still going to use it. I have found that the later versions of this must use a different glue because they're not as sturdy, and I've had several that fall apart. But, I mean, who cares? You can still, if it falls apart, you just put a piece of tape in. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut this lengthwise, and then you can use it like this. As you can see, this is half. This is half of this book, and the other half is running around here somewhere. I think I actually might have made one of these out of this. But this, then you can do this to make this size. I'm getting all confused. Let me try this one. To make this size, which you can see it's half of this, you can take these and you can fold them in, and it makes this size. It also super bulks it up to begin with, so that can be kind of a problem, or you can just slice it. But as you can see, even though this is from a different book, you can see that these are this came from the same book. So it just really depends on what do you want. Do you want a little landscape kind of book? With this one, I don't fold it at all. I just use the paper that's in it. It's held up pretty good. I have glued something on every single one of these pages just to see how it would hold up. So yeah, these are just like, I just filled up the background. Some of them I've done, some of them I haven't. Some of them started, some are completely finished. So yeah, I mean, this book is actually held up pretty good. This one I had, it's kind of might come off, but yeah. So as you can see, it does bulk up pretty good. And usually after I cut it, I do kind of train, like when I open it up, I kind of start training it to be on that line and start pushing this in to make the fluffy spine, because it just kind of helps. Now you've got to decide if you're going to make this size. It's easy. If you're going to make this size, then you're going to have to make a decision, because you're going to have to decide, am I just going to cut it off on this side, or are you going to I'm trying to look. I think these are all folded. Or are you going to fold them in? And if you are, you're going to have to glue every single one of these pages. See how this is folded and then I've glued it down to itself. So that's painstaking. See, this is, no, actually that is, maybe I did cut this one. Things that make you go, I think this one, yes, this one's definitely folded, I can tell. See how it's just folded over? I'm ripping it because I don't give a crap. But see how it was like this, and then I folded it over, and then I just glued it right there. I was lazy and just glued it. So you're going to have to decide, and if you do, then you're going to have to decide what side you want to fold, what side you don't. But like this does not really, this isn't full of pictures, so, and it's already this fluffy. This one I cut, and as you can see, it's not nearly as bulky, and this one I have not added all the pictures to it, especially you can tell right through here. So this one's not even done, and by the time I get finished with it, it's probably going to be bulked out like this. And I don't know how well the spine is going to hold up on this either. The spine on this one has held up a lot better with me just cutting the edge. So if you're going to fold it, then you're going to have to find kind of like the middle of your magazine. I kind of like to start going in and I'm just pushing this down anyways. Just a little bit, just to kind of break the spine in and all that. And this is my easy way of doing the measurements that I need. Is I find a page. This one's a good one. And I just rip it out. All right, so here we go. This is my book, right? So I'm just going to fold this in half. Like I can't fold it in half on camera because, you know, you can't do anything correctly on camera. And then what I personally like to do when I'm able to speak, I'm trying to find a good color pen. That should work. It writes. So what I do is I just take it and I put it halfway, and then I draw a line. So I know, and I draw it just really good. So I know this is half, or it's pretty much half. Now, I didn't even tell you what you needed to do this. So what you're going to need to do this, and this is pretty essential, you need a ruler, but you really need a metal ruler. A metal ruler is your friend. You've seen, I keep banging the desk. You've seen me use this when I harvest images and things of that sort. It's a lifesaver. I love it. I got it at Dollar Tree. Amazing. You also need an X-Acto knife or a razor blade knife of some sort with a fresh blade. Trust me, you want a fresh blade. I just changed this one. If you have a dull blade, it's going to take forever, especially on the spine. The spine's going to be the hardest thing of all. And then optionally, I have some sandpaper here because trust me, your cut is not going to be exact. It's just not, because as you go down farther and farther, and especially if you're using an X-Acto knife, it's deeper really than the blade in a way. So, well, I mean, not really, but just trust me. Look, I've got dirt all over my nails because I have been gardening and apparently did not wash my hands very well. Oh well, such is life in East Tennessee. So, I'm just going to take it and I just start pulling it over and over. Oh, and you need a cutting mat because now I'm pushing hard down on this ruler because I do not want it to slide. And I'm trying to keep my blade against the ruler, but that becomes hard as you see that these pages are becoming loose. And I'm really pushing, oh, it just slipped. Pushing down hard on this too. Be careful, make sure that your beautiful appendages are out of the way. I'm pushing so hard that my actual mat is moving. Now, you are going to feel when you cut the mat, it's going to feel different. Here, I've already cut all the way through. I can feel the mat, but here it's not. So I'm going to keep, that spine's going to be the hardest. Breaking a sweat here. I almost got it. Yay! So there you go. So you got them in half. So you can, there's a couple things that you can do now. You can use just half of it, like I did with this. As you can see, I mean, it's a different month, but it's the same thing. So you can see how bulky this thing can get. And as you can see, this one is a little bit shorter than this. And like I said, that's because of that spine. See? This is the actual front page, and you can see it here. But when you get done with it, that little line that holds that glue like that, it's gonna be more like that. And you can start, I always usually start training it that way. With this is, and they have really changed their glue on this. I hate that because these were so good. But the last couple of ones I've gotten has been bad, but I make do with what I have. So now I kind of folded it on that line. You can see, so, and then I start doing this so that it'll start bulking out like that. So and then it's just, as you naturally do it, I just kind of start pulling on it, not too roughly. And if a page does come out, you just tape it in, because who cares? I usually use paper tape. Paper tape is semi-transparent. It's what I even got on my finger right now. So you can put it on there, and you still can kind of see through it. It's a, you know, it's a little opaque, but you know, hey, it doesn't really take away from it. I like it. This is Johnson & Johnson. I got it at Dollar General, but you can get it at Dollar Tree. It's usually cheap. But I think I just got this at Dollar Tree. You can use masking tape, cheap, or you can use just regular old tape. And can you guess where I even bought this? All right. So that's how you do it. Now, if you wanted to make a smaller one, I would really suggest, now I started this the way that Dede Willingham taught, with folding in the pages. But to me, that just adds so much extra bulk. I quit doing that. You know, like I said, as you can see, look, just laying there, it's huge. It's a little fatty. I'm a little fatty. I'm a little fat buck. and I'm not even done. I'm not even close to done on this. I mean, look at that. That's how many pages I haven't even done. And it's getting to the point that it's so fat, it's hard to even work in. And I just don't find any value in doing that. So I started doing this, where I just cut it off. On this one, I just inked all the edges black, I believe. So yeah. And then I just used just the paper itself. It's thick enough that it'll hold up. It's not the thickest of magazine papers, but it's not too thin either. It's not like fashion magazine thin. It's a little bit thicker than that. You can kind of hear it's glossy. Glossiness really helps. So remember this paper? This is our template. So this is our template. So if you want half of that, then what do you think you do? You fold it half, which I cannot do on camera. For I am terrible. And then I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to line it up with, and I just line it up straight with my spine, even though, look, I didn't even do that correctly. Let's just do it this way. That's easier. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's art. Art doesn't have to be perfect. Art just has to come from within, and I'm pounding on my chest. You can't even see me. All right. So what I do, I should open my pen. I got it lined up to where I want it, and then I just mark where I want to. I kind of make it deep because it's just easier for my X-Acto knife to follow it. This is still pretty sharp. And then I just line it up. It's not going to be all perfect. I'm going to angle it slightly because it's easier for me to do. And then I just slice it. Now this one's a little bit easier to do. I just rub it against, and then I can just move those out of the way as I go. There you go. Now I have done this many times. So I've gotten pretty good at it. I kind of know what pressure to use. I know kind of how to keep my ruler straight and all. And with these extra pages that are coming off, I'll harvest what I can, or I'll use them for scraps if I want to. Like that's a pretty good image. So I'll probably harvest that, and I'm banging on the desk again. What's so strange to me about banging on my desk is that my camera is actually not attached to my desk at all. It is on a shelf that's attached to the wall above me, but the camera goes into my computer, which is on the desk. So I guess it's the cord, and it's so light that it just shakes the cord, which shakes the camera. Okay, so there you go. You got your mini little book to work with. Same deal. Find that. There it is. Find that little fold. This is where they glue it and they clamp it. And just, I try to find it. It's so hard to see sometimes. And then just try to fold out on that line. Usually it wants to do it on its own anyways. Once you get it started, it kind of wants to do it. So do it like that, fold it. Then you get it like this, and then you push it out so that it actually folds the other way on itself. This one didn't want to do. There it goes. And then you just push it back right on that same fold. Same thing here. Remember, we folded it this way. So now we're going to take it and we're actually pushing it back on itself, trying to make it that pop up on where you folded it. So, and then you push down here, and then I push these together. Get it up close so you can see. All right. Get in the camera, Tracy. Okay. So here we go. We take it, we fold it back on that line first. So I know this is probably the hardest part. And then because it's folded there, you're going to, sometimes it'll help if you put your finger there. You're going to push this side so that it goes outward. And so then you just kind of crease it on that line. And then the same thing on the back. And then when you get them both creased out that way, then I just push them together and out and push in that spine. And then that, now you see, now you got that much room for fluff. And it will fluff, trust me. I mean, look. This is exactly how I started this one. It started off looking like this. And then when I work in it, I usually work a little bit in the front. I usually work a little bit in the back, kind of sometimes in the middle. I kind of start moving around, pulling it out. Then you got all these sheets here that you can harvest or you can just throw away. Do whatever you want to do. So this is how I start some of my journals. I do them so many different ways. I'm always experimenting. My favorite thing to do is to go to rest stops when we're on trips, and I look for good brochures. I usually try to get 2 now. I used to just get 1, but now that I've started this channel, I try to get 2 because I want to make a journal out of one, and then I want to keep one clean as an example so that you can like see where it started. So, all right, that's taken me about 20 minutes to do. That's not too bad. So originally, let me get this stuff out of the way. So I'll give credit where credit is due. This idea did come from Dede Willingham. Love her. She is just the queen of ideas. And if I just had an ounce of talent that she does, I would be amazing. But I don't have the patience to learn to draw and all that. So this is one of the first ones. Oh God, it's so heavy. And all I had was this fashion magazine of, oh, I forgot to show you. Go back. Like I said, I know how to pretty much make these smooth now. But when I first made my first one, it was way wobbly and all that. And if your blade does wobble, or your blade may have been a little dull, you just take some sandpaper and you can just sand it down a little bit, and it'll smooth it all out. Because maybe it, like this, ripped a little bit. Just kind of sand it down. You don't have to do this. You can leave it any way you want. But that's what the optional sandpaper is for, is to just kind of, help it do a little better. Because, I mean, it's not going to be even. And this one didn't even start out even. And then you're going to glue stuff in it that's not going to be even. This definitely was not even at all. And I don't think I sanded this one. I don't think I sanded that one either. I might have sanded this one. I don't remember, guys. It's been so long. All right, now back to what I was saying. Well, I have a few more minutes. This is the first one that I ever did, and because it was the only magazine that I had. And Dede said not to use a fashion magazine because the pages weren't as thick, but it's what I had, so it's what I used. And I just mainly did it because I wasn't really planning so much on using it. I just wanted to see how it would do, if I could do it. Now, Bazaar is really thick anyways, and I just love, Dede had this thick one. I wanted a thick one, so I decided to do this. So what I did was I cut it in half, and then I glued them together. And you can see, oh man, this was so hard. This is the full size of the magazine, and this was so hard for me to put together, or not put together, but to glue. I'm getting ahead of myself. So hard to cut. This one was really hard for me to cut because it was really thick and it was so uneven. I did sandpaper it a little bit, but it's been roughed around a lot. So with this one, I kind of decided that I would just do faces in this one. There was a lot of faces, and I've now got it to where every page has faces to paint. But I enjoy just like painting this over it and whatever. I'd kind of done this one, and then I did this one. Bonus points if you know where these words come from. All the words are going to bleed from me, and I will sing no more. And the stains coming from my blood tell me to go back home. Bonus points. Hit me up in the comments. Those are lyrics to a song. Hit me up in the comments if you know what it is. So yeah, I kind of I realize I just wrote something else here too, but I can't read it. Something about, I guess it's the rest of the lyrics. But I tried some homemade gesso on this. I really didn't like it. And I'm too cheap to use real gesso. So yeah, and I love coloring with wild colors. This is just acrylic paint. I kind of just put some black paint on that. I got a wig catalog for a lot of these. So these are women in wigs mainly. That's a wig. I know that's a wig. And they were perfect because it was just heads. Some of these are just from the magazine itself. I haven't really done a lot in here. except for just, I made sure that every page had at least a face on it. I even left like the perfumed pages in here. I've done this one. And I'm not into making them realistic or anything. It's just, a lot of times I'll do these when I'm watching something and I really don't want to concentrate on something, but I want to make something. So I did this one. And I wanted to write something here, but I haven't figured out what to write. So yeah. So there you go. Vogue. I did that one. And this was a chain that was on the page. And so I drew this like she had chains. I cannot draw. But yeah. I did that one in 2018. So yeah, this has been an old one, and I just took both halves, and I don't think I mentioned that, did I? But I cut them in half, and then I'm trying to show. Okay, like this is half of the magazine. This is half, and this is the other half, and then I glued. This is like the front page, and this is like the this is the back page. I had to think. This is the back page and this is the front page, and I glued them together. They weren't staying together too well, so I ended up adding some duct tape, and then I duct taped the spine with some green duct tape that I had from a Dollar Tree. Does that surprise you? Because I like cheap things. And then I just kind of played around adding faces to all my little pages. I don't know if I've done too much on this side. Wigs, wig, wig. And I just ripped them out, hoping to blend them in a little bit better. Because Dede always says ripping them will help blend them. I did this one. This was cool. I did this one with marker. And then this is all marker background. Marker worked well. This one I've started working on, and then I wrote shine, but I think I was just testing the marker mainly. So yeah, this is just one of my played around things. I need to get back to it. I haven't done a face in a long time. So yeah, then I did these, and these were both wigs. I just love her little pig nose. So yeah, there was a lot more faces in the magazine on this side, of course, because this was the front of the magazine. And in the back, you get a lot of lower halves of bodies. So and then I had all these wigs, and it was hard to cut around them anyway. So this, to me, was just easy. And then that way I can just do something and then maybe put in some words or whatever. So yeah. All right. It's been 30 minutes. I need to go warm up. I need to sand this down. My shirt says, "Where are my peeps at?" It's my Easter shirt. It's now 7:29. I need to go and get my clogging shoes on and get my water and go and chat with my friends before everything gets started. Thank you for spending this time with me. I know this has been a long time coming, and I kept saying I was going to make it. I'm going to make it, and then I just never did. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, hit me up down below. I'm really enjoying having this channel and connecting with you guys and sharing my art and letting you know that I believe it's important to your everyday life to be creative. You connect into your subconscious in a way when you are creative that you just don't even realize, that helps you problem solve in your daily life, no matter what you do for a living. I'm a computer programmer, so it's extremely helpful for me to tap into that creative side because it helps me come up with solutions like that. People are amazed at how fast that I come up with things sometimes, or that they're always like, "Oh, you're always thinking outside the box." And it's like, no, it's just that I tap into my subconscious a lot more than other people do, because it's things like this of just gluing down photos, pictures to other things, and people are like, why do you even do that? I can't explain it. It just speaks. It speaks to your subconscious, that right side of your brain. And, when you open up something and you're like, oh, that I can't open up to anything. There you go. And you're like, oh, wow, I made that. That's amazing. None of these I think are amazing. That's cute. I love that. This makes me laugh. I love it. It makes me happy. There's something about this that speaks to the inner Tracy that helps me. So go out there, be creative. Don't be ashamed of your work. Don't go spend tons of money. Go get some trash. Go get trashy magazines. Go get you some white glue. Go to Dollar Tree. Get you a nice metal ruler. When the quarantine is over, please don't go out. Otherwise, just use what you have. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.